Never give up, never give in, keep fighting or die trying. That's the message we hear so much of in the modern world. And sure, it can be useful, especially when you are trying to fight for your life. But what if there was another way? Eastern belief systems like Buddhism and Taoism promote the idea of radical acceptance and surrender as the key to inner peace, especially when we can't change the outer circumstances. There's a Taoist saying that goes, "The master takes action by letting things take their course." So, what is radical acceptance? And why could we all use more of it in our lives? Radical acceptance is the ability to accept situations that are outside of our control without judging them. It's the ability to take reality as it is without getting caught up in our ideas of what reality should be instead. Radical acceptance does not mean that we necessarily approve of what's going on, or that we sit passively by as victims, or that we sit around doing nothing. And it also doesn't mean that we move away to a cave in Tibet and meditate our lives away. What is the point of this kind of acceptance? What does it do for us? Well, there's a 90-second neurochemical response that occurs whenever we're emotionally triggered by something. That's an unavoidable part of being human. You just have to let the emotion flow through you. But you might have noticed that your emotional reactions to triggers usually take a lot longer than 90 seconds. You can stew in it for days. That's because your mind has hijacked the situation and has trapped you in a loop of how things should have gone instead and how much you have suffered. And that keeps the loop reactivating over and over again. There's a saying in Eastern thought: pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Suffering is the attachment to our pain, and that is what radical acceptance tries to avoid. Let me give you a couple of examples of how radical acceptance can be useful in your life. The first would be relationship issues. Now, this is something that I can talk a lot about because unfortunately, I have someone in my life right now who is a constant source of irritation to me and to everyone else around them. And the circumstances mean that they have to remain in my life for a few months longer. Whenever this person does something that I find obnoxious, I catch myself going into a loop of, this person is such an asshole. Why should I have to experience this? This is so unfair to me. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to feel this. You know what that voice in my head is? That's the voice of the victim. That voice is in all of our heads. It's a useful voice, at least it can be, because it lets us know when we're being taken advantage of and when things are unfair. But when we allow that voice to go on unchecked, we end up wallowing in self-pity, which doesn't accomplish anything. But on those occasions when I am mindful and I catch myself going into that state, I say to myself, okay, I accept that this person is unpleasant, and I accept that I can't control their behavior. I accept that I can be irritated by them. And then I sit with my irritation until it passes away on its own, which doesn't take too long. And that allows me to keep calm and respond to them clearly and firmly without lashing out at them. The second situation would be to do with something that's difficult or boring or stressful to do, like some kind of difficult task at work or some creative hobby that's not going exactly the way that we want it to, or something health related, like going to the gym. A lot of us tend to procrastinate on activities like this because we just find them unpleasant in some way. Let me give you an example from my own life again. I'm a writer, and like many writers, I can find starting a new post to sometimes be difficult. There is something about a blank page with all of its infinite possibility that can be overwhelming. And I catch my mind going into these stories of, oh, I don't know what to write. I don't know enough about this topic. I need to research more. I just don't know what to do. And that is my mind resisting the blank page and resisting its fear of the blank page rather than just accepting both. So, what I found to be really useful is to tell myself, it's okay. I accept the fact that I don't know what to write yet. And as soon as I've accepted my confusion, and as soon as I've freed my expectations of myself that I should have something written down by now, my mind is free. It's calm. Then I start writing down whatever phrases and sentences come to me. And soon enough, I have a post. So, have there been any situations in your life where you have used radical acceptance and found it to be useful? Comment below and let me know.